Today, as discussed, this is going to be putting the fit into fit tech. So this is going on my experience over the last 2.5 years nearly now. And it's essentially just an outline of what I've learned from the tech guys at the Spott. And it should give you a really good overview of how you can improve your service, improve your clients' user experience as well. So hopefully it will just really help you improve your whole delivery of your online sessions. Okay, so just a few quotes for you here. I just pulled these out just to because I've been using these. I use these in the business plan with the Spott as well. So John Foley, the co-founder of Peloton, he basically said that fitness is one of the few remaining categories that is going to be massively disrupted by a digital experience. Andrew, can you just press mute on yours, please?
Yes.
Andrew, can you just mute you? That's it. Great stuff. It's not muted. One sec. I've muted you. It's fine. It's okay. I've done it. Fitness is one of the few remaining categories that's going to be massively disrupted by a digital experience. Obviously, the pandemic has shown that, and it is continuing. There's still a lot of, there's still the unknown about where everything's going at the moment. Face-to-face, people obviously gone back to face-to-face, and now there's a bit of a lull. People are still coming back to the virtual training world. There is that hybrid environment that exists. And I spoke to one of the guys from Fit Tech, the Fit Tech Club yesterday, had a meeting with him about getting involved with him in that his company. And it is going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than we even thought about. In fact, Michael Dell, the chairman of Dell Technologies, just sums it up. Wearable devices are here to stay. They'll only get more sophisticated and effective as they evolve. Until now, most of us have made our health and fitness decisions based on what we think we know about ourselves. Advancements in technology, wearables and otherwise, will eventually take much of the guesswork out of healthy living. So being the first innovators, really, which you guys are, being there at the front of the queue, you're only going to be at the front of the queue with us on this journey, because everyone else is going to be coming up the rear and realizing that they're obviously, far behind on this. Okay, so let's have a look at the story, shall we? Bear with me. Oh, great. Ben and the tech, hey? Here we go. Here we go, the story. Now, just remember, Andrew's laughing. Mr. Flint, stop it. Just remember that everything I'm talking about here is from my experience. Remember, everyone's environment is different. So what works for me might not necessarily work for you, but this has really been a huge learning curve for me over the last 2.5 years. And I'm just going to show you a few photos of where I started and where I am now in terms of the tech. So here we go. This was me, a lovely photograph there. Look at that. That was me on the first day of the national lockdown. Okay, that was 2020, March the 16th, I think it was. It might have been a week later, but I think it was March 16th. I certainly went into lockdown a week before. And I basically had this sale flag, which I stuck on my living room wall, okay, for the branding. That was all I had. And eventually what I did on the right-hand side, I thought, something, this green screen thing, this is a great idea. Let's try and put a green screen up there. So that was my absolutely awful effort at putting a green screen up in my living room as well, which didn't work at all. Anyway, I went back to using the sale flag, and I must have been doing the virtual workout series, the group sessions, for at least 3-4 months, operating out of that living room. And then what happened, I thought, you know what, let's go into the garage. So that's what I started with. That's my garage on the left-hand side. And what I did was I did a lot of research into what works. I played around with lighting. I played around with audio. I played around with, obviously, the green screen. And I came up with that on the right-hand side. That was the garage. That was about a year later. I had all that set up and it was working. when I was in the living room, I was using an iPad, a normal iPad to do the sessions. When I got into the garage, I was using an iPad Pro, which works exceptionally well as well. Obviously, from the Spott platform point of view, that will be coming in as a future feature, but we do not need to use that at the moment. So this is where we are now. So this isn't where we are now. This is actually the photograph of the lighting that I was using there. If you can see the iPad there, if you can see all the session planning on the fridge there as well, all stuck with sellotape. And then we came to what happened. We actually did an extension during lockdown, and we extended that garage and made it into a studio. And this is what the studio looks like now. So that green screen is up there. Obviously the mat is there, and this is the tech. So on the left-hand side, we have obviously mirrors on the background. We've got, I use a Mac there. You can see the Mac. We've got obviously the spotlight. I've got a plasma over. Now, the reason I've got that plasma over there is because when I'm doing group sessions, I'm obviously standing way back. So I screen mirror right up onto that plasma up there. In terms of the lighting, I have 2 lights either side. I have the ring light there. The webcam I use is there, but we're going to run through every single bit of kit here. I've got a Blue Yeti microphone, and I've got an iPad Pro. That's the original iPad Pro I use in the garage as well. So what we are going to do is run through each of these categories just for you so that you can get an idea of what works and what doesn't work. Okay. The lighting. Now, whether you're capturing live footage or recording fitness content, proper lighting is extremely important for the user experience. Clients should be able to see you clearly. Oftentimes, if the light is behind you, it will be hard for clients to see you. You'll want to consider the placement of both electric and natural light, as well as ensure the light isn't creating any distracting shadows or glare. A lot of you have probably experienced this already with a lot of your sessions. It might not necessarily work for you, but from my experience, using a ring light, I can see Adam's got one there, using a ring light is the first port of call to illuminate your face, particularly when coaching one-to-ones. You can get standing ring lights or a ring light that attaches to your laptop or computer. They range from 15 to 35 pounds. I now use a ring light that attaches to my computer and find them really, really useful. Natural light is always the winner, okay? If you've got natural light all the time, but not many people have. So if you're setting up in a room or you're setting up in a studio without much light, I know David's doing a studio at the bottom of his garden. Yeah, then I would certainly make it as dark as possible inside and put an additional 2 freestanding studio lights, like I do, either side of the room with your computer in the center, and that will optimize the space and make the room appear larger than it is on the screen. Now, positioning the lights above head height, facing downwards, gives optimal light without capturing shadows, but you'll have to play around with that. It took me a long time to get the angles of the light, and obviously with the client looking at you, to get it absolutely perfect. The higher the standing lights, they range from 50 to 100 pounds each. Obviously, you don't have to go and buy all this stuff. If the first port of call is getting that ring light, because that really will help, particularly with the one-to-one. Okay, let's go move on to the visuals and the camera. Okay. The space and background that you choose should be simple. Okay. I see so far too many people with, the cat in the background and their desk with clutters everywhere. It needs to be simple. The room should be clean, uncluttered, with a solid background if possible. You want your clients to be able to see you and your movements, more importantly, clearly, and be able to focus on you without anything in the video distracting them. So the first port of call is your camera. Now, your computer, your Mac or your PC will have a built-in camera. Okay. Now that built-in camera is usually not great quality. And you probably found this. For example, the MacBook Pro or MacBook Air camera has a resolution of 720 pixels, which is not full HD. So you do not expect high quality video for most, I'm saying most, PCs, computers, or laptops, okay? iPads and iPhones can be linked, and you can actually use the camera through apps like something called Epoch Cam, which is a great value way of improving the visual experience. Another way to improve image quality, you might want to consider the webcam, which attaches effortlessly to your computer. These range from £50 to £150. As an example, what I use is this one here. It's called the Logitech Stream Cam. It's got full 1080 pixels in HD. It's very easy to connect to your PC. It's AI enabled facial tracking plus autofocus. So if you can afford that, I would definitely go for that. It's not one of the particularly more expensive models, but definitely will improve your user experience there. Okay, the green screen. Now this is a story, because when I was first doing this with Via Session and doing it with loads of other instructors, I can honestly say I was the only one using a green screen. No one else I don't think could be bothered going through the whole rigmarole of getting the green screen. But in my experience, it just sets you apart from the rest in terms of the professionalism that it brings you, okay? The green screen was originally designed to be an integral part of the special effects process in films known formally as chroma key. Chroma key allows TV producers and movie makers to use advanced technology to superimpose their subjects onto an unlimited number of different virtual backgrounds, okay, as you can see behind me. During the pandemic and the rise of online video conferencing, Zoom enabled a virtual background feature onto their platform, which was a game changer for many businesses. The downside for the fitness industry, which I found out, was that projected onto any wall, and you've probably found this, if you project any virtual background to the wall, it's fine if you're sitting there, but if you're moving around, it pixelates, yeah, and it goes blurry. So Zoom then added the green screen feature, which has been a game changer again. For me personally, incorporating this green screen into the business was an effective way not only of hiding the background, but also projecting your branding onto the screen and displaying. You can display literally different classes. If you're doing a class, you can put, you know, HIIT class or loaded movement class or Pilates, whatever you want to do, and you will be there in front of it, and no one will have a clue that it's a green screen.
Ben, can I, before we carry on, otherwise I'm going to forget to ask.
Yeah.
I've really thought about the green screen, and obviously with some online sessions or meetings and networking groups, you've got backgrounds for our branding and stuff. Yeah. The only problem I have, what's the depth perception of that? I mean, obviously, if you're demonstrating, what sort of depth can you get with that without getting blurred and out the picture?
I will demonstrate now. I mean, if you look down.
All right, so it's all the way back, and okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is, it all depends on your setup, but this is how I teach classes. So I have the plasma up there, and there's absolutely no pixelation there whatsoever.
Okay, perfect.
I'll actually come on to, which is a very interesting point you bring up there, David, actually. So with the Spott, you're actually able to incorporate the same level of innovation into your sessions with the use of something called OBS. Has anyone heard of OBS, or on open broadcaster software? Yeah, it's something which the Spott Tech guys brought to me. It's free, completely free to use, and it allows you to project an image onto the wall or the green screen, and it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So green screens can come in at 50 quid to 200 quid, depending on the size of your room. But the most important point here is be aware about the depth of your camera lens on the wall, okay? Obviously, if you've got a laptop, you'll see that it's landscape. So if you've got a smaller room, then you're going to be picking up the sides of the wall. Okay, so you're not going to have that green screen put in perfect focus. So this is one of the reasons I opted for this camera, because what you can do, you can switch, you can turn it round and it goes portrait. If you can see my hand here, look. Yeah, you see that? So my camera is in portrait. If I switched this camera to landscape, you would see either side of the green screen. Okay. If you don't have room for a green screen, it's fine. Roller blinds. I have another idea to put up. So if you want branding, if you've got a white wall, just put roller blinds each side. A really effective way of getting the branding out there. Another alternative is just use the backdrop of your garden. Okay, do it outside if you can, or if you've just got a white wall, fine. Put a few plants in the side and just do it on the white wall. Let's move on to this is just a demonstration of, okay, this is the Spott view from a client, by the way, on the left hand side. So this is a corporate session I'm doing. That's obviously me doing it there, and this is the Mac, me on the Mac. So this is my view of the session happening there as well. So that, if you can see, it's pretty flawless in terms of the movement capabilities, and in terms of the actual the picture quality that you get from using the green screen. Okay, let's move on to the audio now. Audio. This has really been difficult to get right. Ensuring your audio is clear, balanced, and free of background noise contributes to a smooth experience for your clients. One of the most important contributors to the quality of your audio is the environment in which the recording takes place. Therefore, finding an ideal room for sound should be the first step in creating your audio recording setup. This is going to be very applicable to you here, David, in particular. The ideal recording room should have as few background noises as possible. Pretty obvious, right? It shouldn't be too loud. Too many hard surfaces in a room, for example, brick walls, tile flooring, large windows, can reflect the sound in undesirable ways, creating unpleasant reverberations and audio feedbacks. If you don't have alternatives, and this is a good tip, try laying down rugs and blankets on a hard floor, or hanging quilts, and it sounds silly, hanging quilts on the wall. It helps absorb and reflect sound, making the overall sound in the room clearer. If your video requires a hard floor, try putting rugs or blankets down on the floor, or just having one big rug on the floor will really help as well.
You're trying to reduce the echo.
Yeah, it's the echo. And do you know something? It's been one of my bugbears here, really has, because you can probably hear now. If I come through to my mic, there's nothing. There's really good sound there. I'm going to my Blue Yeti mic. If I come away, and you'll hear this now, this is me doing, you can hear a bit of an echo, can't you?
Yeah.
A bit of an echo going on. The reason is because I've got blinds up. If I put curtains up, it would help absorb the sound. If we'd have put special noise insulation in that wall, it would have helped a lot more as well. So in all essence, the best thing I could probably do is put a bigger rug down on the floor. But listen, this is all what you're here. Yeah, it really is a process. This has taken me two and a half years. So the audio tech, let's have a look at the audio tech. So looking at microphones now. Right, so a microphone that is purpose-built for recording audio will always be the most ideal solution in this situation, particularly with one-to-one clients. Microphones that are built into computers or laptops tend to be lower quality, as you might have found. But linking your Bluetooth headphones is an absolute winner, and it's a really good, cheaper alternative. Getting your whatever, doesn't have to be Apple, any kind of Bluetooth headphones will really help on the audio side. Just keep in mind, if you're doing group classes, you need to be confident the headphones will stay in, and goodness knows how many times I went through this. Stay in, and the audience won't hear you breathing heavily. Goodness gracious me, this has been one of my bugbears. I must have bought about 5 different pairs of headphones, and every single time they would, Ben, we can't hear because you're breathing too heavily on these classes. So in the end, I just went, do you know what? I'm just going to get this microphone here, which we're going to talk about. So if you're doing more group sessions, it might be best to consider a wireless microphone. And now I know Andrew Flint here, you've used a lot of wireless mics in your time, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you use a lot of wireless mic on the virtual classes?
Yes, I use but I don't know it's a one that I found out here. I don't know the brand of it. It looks a lot like the Yeti one. It's just a standalone wireless.
Right, it's a standalone one.
Yeah, it's a standalone in the front. But yeah, the breathing into the microphone is quite a key thing. I mean, I'm fitter than you, so it's less of a problem. But yeah, it is going to be the breathing.
Thank you for putting in.
I've got to shoot, guys, but yeah, this has been really helpful. I'll pick up the rest on the recording.
Yeah, on the recording. Okay, David, take care.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See you, take care.
Cheers, guys.
Right. Okay. So if you do decide to purchase a microphone, remember that price and quality, and I've found this, go literally hand in hand, okay, with recording equipment. High quality professional mics start anywhere from 100 to 300 pounds and can go up from there. The Blue Yeti mic, which I've got here, and the one on the right-hand side here is perfect, absolutely perfect for one-to-ones. And I personally use it, like I've discussed, for group sessions. Just make sure that if you are using it for group sessions, that there are different settings on it for the noise, for the sound pattern, which get that absolutely right. Okay. One of the big concerns, and something I was deliberating for a long time, is perfecting the user experience by adding music to the workouts. And I don't know if this has been something that if I could tell you, I have been round and round talking to tech guys literally until I've been blue in the face. While it's possible to add authorized music to your pre-recorded videos and live streams, there are challenges in balancing your music and any talking. Even when you feel you've struck a perfect balance between music and narration, there's the unknown factor of your client's listening environment. By including both music and narration in your video services, your clients will only be able to adjust the overall volume of the content instead of just the music and just the narration. This can lead to clients having difficulty following instructions. So from a personal level, what is the simplest solution? And we use this in the virtual workout series. I know, Andrew, you do the same. It's the best way to approach is don't include the music. Don't try and include the music at all. Instead, encourage clients to play their own music or send them playlists, which we find works very well indeed. This solution provides a number of benefits. Firstly, you won't have to worry about competing audio sources, which has been the biggest headache of my life. Your clients will be able to work out to their own favorite music and adjust volumes, and you'll save money by avoiding costly licensing fees. Okay, so that's the audio side of things. Now let's look at broadband speed. Now, to sound like some kind of boring tech guy, believe me, this has been another thing that I've learned going through this process. If you are streaming live, which you all are, make sure you check the internet connection ahead of time. You want to make sure that you're in a location that has a stable connection. Choppy service or drop connection on a consistent basis will provide a negative user experience. So what determines broadband and Wi-Fi speed? And this is something that's been fascinating to me. Your broadband speed and performance, believe me, I never thought I'd say that, is determined by the distance from your home to the local street cabinet or telephone exchange and the product you take. These will control the actual line speed to your home. Secondly, how you use and share the service in your home will affect what speed of connection you experience. As the more people using that service at once will affect that broadband speed. So I often have 4 kids on devices. I have my wife working, and there's obviously me trying to do a corporate session online, which requires a lot of data as well. So for me, I need to get the fastest possible broadband speed here. So the distance from your router can also affect the Wi-Fi performance. So if you've got thick brick walls, just keep that in mind. Always think about having that different router, or having a router really close to a mobile router close to your computer. What types of broadband? There are two real types, okay? There's the older broadband, which is slower, using copper cables, and the newer versions using fiber optic cables. So this is the newer stuff coming out. The fiber optic cables don't suffer from signal degradation over distance like copper, therefore have higher speeds. But really important to note is that broadband speed differs according to location. So I know I live in the sticks here. Thankfully, we've got fiber put in here, but sometimes, even in some towns, you might not have fiber, the opportunity to have that fiber. So it's really important to get to find out what actual services are available, and if you've got fiber in your area. But it's really important to test the speed, okay? There are lots of things, lots of apps out there, speed checker, to test the speed, and it will give you a rundown, if it's if it's a very fast, if it's medium, and just bear in mind, everything is up to you in terms of the requirement, because your requirements are different depending on your circumstances. Okay, client considerations. Goodness me, it's 11:05. Right, we're going to go into the most important considerations regarding a client is what? We all want user experience. We want our clients to enjoy the experience with us, make sure that it's almost like being face-to-face. So to maximize their experience using their chosen device, the most important recommendations are below. Visually, encourage your client to use the largest screen available. iPad Pros have a giant 12.9-inch version that's available, but obviously if cost is an issue, the best thing I can suggest is screen mirroring, like on the left there. It's a brilliant way of getting that on the phone right up onto your screen. It has to be a smart TV. You can't do it on older versions, but I do it on the smart TV, which must be got to be about 10 years old, my TV, to be fair. Using an iPhone, Android, iPad, or tablet stand is, in my opinion, absolutely essential as well. If they work out in the same room all the time, encourage them to keep the stand in the same position to reduce time in session preparation. I don't know how many sessions I have where people are trying to get the camera in position. If they have a stand that they just plop it into, bang, it solves a lot of problems. From a sound perspective, and we touched on this with, who asked me the question about sound? David, wasn't it? From a sound perspective, encourage your client to use Bluetooth headphones, that was Evie, or a Bluetooth speaker. Each person is different in terms, it might be Andrew, I can't remember. Each person is different in terms of which headphones stay in their ears when exercising. So it comes back to that problem before, but I found the Powerbeats Pro are absolutely excellent for that. But there are many headphones that tuck around the ear for a perfect workout experience. One tip for connecting the Spott immediately to their headphones is on the left here. So just get them to audio output and get them to press iPhone or phone. That will automatically link to headphones. Okay, something that we need to put a bit more in so people know, the client actually knows, but that is the tip. Just go into iPhone. Even if it's on the tablet, it will go click into the headphones as well. In terms of Bluetooth speaker, these are ideal. If you look on the right-hand side, these are ideal if you're training one-to-one or in groups outside. I train this couple outside in Hampstead Heath. What they do is they take their two phones with them. They take a Bluetooth speaker and their kit. Okay. As soon as they get into the session, they put their Bluetooth speaker off. They don't necessarily, because a lot of them know the exercises, they don't necessarily need a big screen with me doing the exercise. They can hear all my instruction through the Bluetooth speaker, and we find that works perfectly. I think that's about it. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to bring the virtual training experience as much to reality as possible with all of these features here. So in conclusion, it's our job at the Spott to give you the best possible service in terms of product development, customer support, and education to keep your clients happy. If you're able to provide feedback throughout your experience with us, as the Spott community, we'll be able to go from strength to strength in what will be an exciting journey for you all and for your clients.